A picture has surfaced online of quarterback Aaron Rodgers practicing with a Pittsburgh Steelers player. Also, apparently, the Steelers are going to be interested in Daniel Jones come this free agency period to potentially be the starting quarterback. But first, before I get more into those, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, the funny part of Aaron Rodgers practicing with a Steelers player is it was Deshaun Elliott. And if you remember not too long ago, actually just last week, it was announced that Aaron Rodgers won't be back with the Jets. The Jets don't want him back, and he will have to move on to a different team, and he more than likely will be released. So, it was surfaced that the Steelers are going to be interested in Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers would be the perfect fit for the Steelers, and those two are likely to link up. And Deshaun Elliott, Steelers player, Steelers safety, commented underneath the post basically saying, "We don't want him, keep him in the retirement home, or send him to the retirement home." So now, this week, just recently, a picture has surfaced of Deshaun Elliott and Aaron Rodgers training together, or being next to each other training. So the post says, "Who retires first? Hashtag what are you capable of?" And I think it's just funny because of what Deshaun Elliott said, and maybe now he realizes that, hey, this might actually be a possibility. He may actually be the quarterback of our team. So they link up together. They're doing whatever they're doing together, practicing, training, and they're in the locker room together with the thumbs up and Aaron Rodgers pointing at Deshaun Elliott. So this was quite a funny thing. Just want to bring it to your attention. And looking at what Adam Schefter said about Aaron Rodgers potentially being a Pittsburgh Steeler, this is what he said about that. Let me give you his quotes. And if you don't know, Adam Schefter is a top insider in the NFL with ESPN. He says, "Okay, so let's just say the Pittsburgh is the obvious landing spot in our hypothetical conversation about Aaron Rodgers. So Pittsburgh now is willing to not discuss a deal with Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. It's not going to check in on Matthew Stafford if the Rams decide if they're going to suddenly trade Matthew Stafford. It's not going to look into any other quarterback that's a free agent either, Sam Darnold or whoever it may be. Steelers are not going to consider any of those. They're going to say, you know what? We believe Aaron Rodgers is better than all these alternatives. Right now, we're going to focus on him." I just don't see that. Like, that's not where it's at all. To me, I could see Pittsburgh making some sense, but I don't think Pittsburgh starting a search with Aaron Rodgers. Could it wind up there? Yeah. End quote. So when you look at what the top insider says, and he says that the search is not starting with Aaron Rodgers, and it might end up there if nothing else works out, then you have to pay attention to that. Meaning that Aaron Rodgers are maybe on the Steelers' radar, but he's not the main focus. And there's more other guys in free agency and the trade market that they're more looking towards. And that means he has some insider information when talking about this. So Aaron Rodgers, can he eventually wind up on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yes. But I think there's steps that have to be taken before you can get there. And I think that's kind of true to any place right now with Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. That's why it's kind of hard to give a landing spot for Aaron Rodgers in today's market because of his age and the circumstances surrounding him and just how he performed last season, outside of stat-wise. Anyway, let's look at another possible scenario for the Pittsburgh Steelers at quarterback, other than Aaron Rodgers, because it was rumored and reported that the Steelers are going to be interested in Daniel Jones this offseason, potentially being the quarterback for the Steelers. So when you look at this report, the report is by Andrew Filipponi. He says that sources said there's interest in a former Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones, inside the Steelers organization, and that the Steelers could do a lot worse than Jones, with the belief he actually is a good fit for Arthur Smith's offense and Mike Tomlin's preference for a mobile quarterback. So that was a report, and basically saying that Mike Tomlin likes Daniel Jones. He likes him as a mobile quarterback, and he could be a fit for the Steelers. So when looking at this report, you have to take it with a grain of salt because of who's reporting it. It's not a top insider. It is someone as a Steelers radio host, but you have to look at his reports in the past and say, hey, take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, when looking at Daniel Jones as a quarterback, should the Pittsburgh Steelers be interested in him? No, they should not. Daniel Jones is probably the farthest down the list you could think of when it comes to quarterbacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers this upcoming year, especially for a starter. As a backup, maybe, sure, sign him. But as a starter, definitely not. It would basically be taking a risk like the Minnesota Vikings had to take with Sam Darnold, even though Sam Darnold was an injury replacement for a quarterback that was drafted in round 1, a top pick. So they weren't really taking that big of a risk. It was just a backup quarterback who ended up playing great. But it would be the Steelers basically saying, hey, we believe you could be a Sam Darnold for us and turn around your career with us. But no, that's not what the Steelers should do. There's better options out there in terms of Justin Fields. Maybe bring back Russell Wilson. That would be a better fit. Even though I don't really like Russell Wilson's fit with the Steelers over Justin Fields now. But Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, there's Matthew Stafford, who may be open on the trade market. There's Aaron Rodgers, who we just talked about. There is Sam Darnold, who proven himself. So why would you go with Daniel Jones? It just doesn't make sense. The Pittsburgh Steelers took that risk when they signed Mitch Trubisky, because he was a mobile quarterback. He was someone who the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in to be the starter, someone who the Steelers saw as mobile, who could turn around their career. So it's basically just taking another risk on a guy for no reason. When you know what he's been capable of throughout his career, he has not been a good quarterback. He makes many mistakes, fumbles, interceptions, and he just has not been good. So me personally, I don't think the Steelers should do it. They already took that risk with Mitchell Trubisky. Is why I take another risk for just not to work out and waste another year of the Pittsburgh Steelers season. Might as well stick with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a good quarterback. Justin Fields was good for the Steelers all the way up until they benched him for no reason, just for Russell Wilson. Justin Fields has proven himself in this league, and he carried the Bears even though their team was so bad. He played really good on the Steelers his first 6 games. So the Pittsburgh Steelers should give Justin Fields another shot if they plan on giving Daniel Jones a shot. Does Daniel Jones fit the Steelers' offense in terms of what they want to do? Yes, he would, based off what he did with the Giants, because he is a mobile quarterback, a quarterback who could escape the pocket, someone who could roll out and make passes on the run. But is he someone that you want in terms of being a good decision maker that Mike Tomlin likes? No, he's not, and he hasn't been. So that just doesn't really make sense, and you have to take this with a grain of salt, like I said, but the Pittsburgh Steelers should really not give any interest in Daniel Jones being the starting quarterback. As a backup, sure, why not? When looking at Daniel Jones as a quarterback, he does nothing exceptional. Not one area of his game is top tier compared to some other people. You may think maybe his scrambling ability is top tier. No, it's above average, but it's not great. You also look at his accuracy. It's not great. You look at his throw power. It's not great. And his decision making. It's not great. Turnover prone. That's the only thing that he's good at. Turnover prone. And that's in a bad way because you don't want to be turnover prone. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they should give no interest in Daniel Jones. This report has come out saying the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be interested in Daniel Jones, and Mike Tomlin may see him as a mobile quarterback, but they should not have any interest in him. And you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're trying to find their quarterback after Big Ben retired. They looked at Kenny Pickett. They looked at Mitchell Trubisky. They had Justin Fields. They had Russell Wilson. They're trying to find the guy. So I understand them going through all the options and in terms of trying to find someone, and they're looking through all the possible scenarios of someone being the quarterback. And that's why when you saw maybe they could trade for Trevor Lawrence, and that situation came up not too long ago. You look at the Steelers, they're really focused on trying to find a quarterback, but this is just not it. Don't even pay any attention if I was the Steelers. And if the Steelers did get Daniel Jones, it would just be a waste. And to be honest, it would make me disappointed in the team and their decision making of what this future looks like, because this future should not hold as Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback. Anyway, enough with Daniel Jones. Let me just wrap up this video. Aaron Rodgers practicing with the Steelers player in Deshaun Elliott. Does it mean something? Maybe, because they were just going at Deshaun Elliott was just going at Aaron Rodgers on social media, so maybe he has inside information saying, hey, maybe Aaron Rodgers can come to this team, even though he doesn't want him there. And they decided to make up and practice together, train together. But Aaron Rodgers is not returned to the Jets. He's a free agent, basically once he becomes released. And Daniel Jones, he will become a free agent, and the Pittsburgh Steelers apparently have interest, but who knows. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on this topic, both these topics about Aaron Rodgers practicing with a Steelers player, and is it funny to you that they just did that after what Deshaun Elliott said, and also your thoughts on Daniel Jones and the interest that the Steelers apparently have in him per report. Anyway, make sure you also subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, rumors, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, especially covering all this offseason. I'm definitely doing that. So stay tuned to the free agency period that's coming up shortly, and also the draft season for the Steelers. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.